today to see the Metzler Newcomer 600 Championship burst into action. Joe Higham then from the outside of row number 1, Benjamin Williams in the middle, the all-white number 42, and Thomas Jackson possibly not there on the inside of row number 1. The red lights go out very quickly, then we're away and racing. Joe Higham makes a good getaway from the outside of row number 1. Someone's going to be storming through from about the third row there. That was the 52 of Lewis Cook on the inside of row number 2, and he goes third. It's Higham that leads the way. Is that Oulton Turner into second place? I think it might be, and then it's side by side for third between Benjamin Williams and Lewis Cook. Cook had third going into Old Hall Corner, but Benjamin Williams was trying to get it back as they came out of the turn. So down into Cascades, back out the other side and along the Lakeside straight they'll go. And Joe Higham making good on his start there. I am 90% sure that Thomas Jackson was not a starter, so that's probably the last we're going to see of him then, was that brilliant run that he was having in the previous race where it looked as though he was going to get a podium, but unfortunately ended up with we think he went down on the last lap. And from a very, very promising position, ended up, unfortunately, losing points not just in that race, but also this one, because he would have been due to start third on the grid for race 3. But if the bike's too badly damaged, then you're not able to get out there, obviously. So, Joe Higham then, looks as though he still had the lead there, I think, as they went down Hilltop into the Hislop chicane. Wait for the end of the first lap. They're all completely out of my sight now through Knickerbrook over Clay Hill. Wilfred Oulton Turner's sector 3 time is actually the first one to come up, and Joe Higham hasn't yet shown as having a second sector time. So this has caught me out already today, though, where it's ended up being a timing issue. So I'm not going to say that Joe Higham is out, but he is now the only rider that hasn't registered a second sector time. Let's see if he does appear then out of the last corner through Lodge over Deerleap. They come again. And yeah, that's Higham in the lead, isn't it? So, yet again, the transponder's trying to confuse me. Joe Higham with the lead. Second, though, is Wilfred Oulton Turner. So it's battle rejoined again between the top 2 in the championship at the head of the field. Third place is the 42 of Benjamin Williams. 5th for Cook. 6th position, Dan Burnham. And then Crossley in 7th. So, we have got Thomas Jackson there, actually. I'd tell a lie. Thomas Jackson then 8th position. He lost a few places on that first lap. It's possible that the bike is not in full working order, I suppose, but Thomas Jackson is there, and that is excellent news then for the man that was due to start third on the grid. It looks as though he did start there, but he's dropped down a little bit at the start. Those at the back of the grid, by the way, Andy Woodward is there. He's gained a few positions. He didn't set a lap time in the previous race, but he's got back out there in this one again. Anyone else that I can see from the back? Callum Faraday isn't there. Lee Dodson isn't either. Alan Watts is. So Alan Watts got back out again. That's good. Ambrose Graham didn't. Michael Holden did. Tony Fitton did as well. Andy Woodward have already covered, and Sam Moff did not. So we got a few of those non-finishers from the previous race got back out for this final one of the weekend. Normally would be just 2 races in the day here at Oulton Park for these sprint races. We normally would have the afternoon running taken up by the endurance race. No endurance race here today, though, so the sprint championships get an extra race for their money here at Oulton Park. A real rider's favourite circuit as well, so that makes perfect sense. Give them a bit more track time, and they produce some good racing whilst they're at it. We've got a real battle on our hands here, because Wilfred Oulton Turner is right on the rear wheel of Joe Higham as they come across the start-finish line again. Leg dangling for the race leader as they go into Old Hall Corner. Oulton Turner then has caught him, but can he now find a way through? For third place, Williams still ahead of Cook, by the way. Benjamin Williams ahead of the fast-starting Lewis Cook, but right with them in 5th position is Dan Burnham. There's a change for 7th as Thomas Jackson does now start to work his way back towards where he started. Gets ahead of the 88 of Daniel Johnson that time, and also Michael Holden further back picks up 2 positions into 11th, so he's knocking on the door now of the top 10. Shaping up to be a really good battle this between Higham and Oulton Turner, not just in this race, but in the championship on the whole. I made the point earlier on that even though Oulton Turner won 3 of the races at Donington, Joe Higham did give him a run for his money in all of them, apart from maybe the final race, the 4th race. He didn't really seem to have the pace anymore to challenge, but the first 2 certainly, and arguably the first 3 races, Joe Higham was every bit as quick as Watton Turner, and it was just really towards the end of the races, maybe in traffic, that was when we would see Wilfred pull away. Whatever that issue was in the previous race, the setup or tyres maybe not being right for Wilfred Watton Turner, though, has cost him the championship lead. So you can do all of that winning, and you can be super consistent, but all it takes is one bad race, and if your championship rival has also been really consistent, then they can be right there to take advantage of it. And that's what happened with Joe Higham, who now is going quite quickly on this third lap. Purple first and second sector for the race leader. He's taken about half a second or so out of Watton Turner in just the first two sectors. They come over the hill, and yes, there is a bit more of a buffer now between Higham and Turner. The gap was 0.22 of a second at the end of lap number 2. Now at the end of lap 3, it's nearly 0.6 of a second. Turner got a little bit back again in the final sector with a purple final sector. Dan Burnham goes up the inside of two riders into Old Hall. That was a brilliant move. Dan Burnham goes from 5th to 3rd at the first corner. He's really slow on the exit, though, and he's going to lose at least one of them, I think, on the run down the avenue. But Burnham got up the inside of Lewis Cook and Ben Williams, and I don't think Ben Williams, who was the second of those to be overtaken, he was the one in 3rd at the line, I don't think he saw Burnham coming. He turned in, had to really sit up aggressively on the apex to avoid making contact, but then they both delayed each other, and I think that gave Lewis Cook a run on them down the avenue. Behind, Michael Holden also gaining places. So too Tom Jackson. He's into 6th place now. He's got ahead of Mark Crossley, and he's brought with him Daniel Johnson. So those two sort of moving up through the top 10 together now. So Newcomer 600 racing then, the entry level into the No Limits racing ladder. And always been a popular series, this, because it does cater for complete rookies or just people that are new to club or 600cc racing in general. Always get a healthy grid. And what I love about newcomer categories, the same as junior racing categories as well, is that you really see riders get better and better as the season goes on. Those that are maybe in their very first season of circuit racing start the season and they're nowhere near the pace, but by the summertime they're getting there, and then by the end of the race they're winning races. It's that initial rate of progression that riders make in the first 12, 18 months of their racing career that is really exciting to watch. And Wilfred Watton Turner is a second year rider in the Newcomer 600s. That's why he was really one of the pre-season favourites. He did only compete at one event last year, but he has raced with us before. But right now, try as he might, he can't find a way past Joe Higham. He was fractionally quicker than Joe on the previous lap, as in 800ths quicker, but it was a new fastest lap for Watton Turner. Burnham, as we've seen, in 3rd position now, so he did actually hold on to that after it looked as though he was under pressure coming out of Old Hall corner. Yellow flag at Old Hall. Now, why? That's the question. Can't see anything on the way into there's a faller on the exit, and it's a reddish coloured bike. That's not Dan Burnham, is it? Let me have a look. No, I don't think it is. The rider is okay anyway, and the rider is already to the other side of the barriers as the marshals are wheeling the bike away. I just want to see if I can see the number. I don't think I'm going to see it now. The marshals are obstructing the view. Quite rightly, because they're busy moving the bike out of the way. No, I don't think it is Burnham, but it is a bike with red fairings. And Dan Burnham has red and yellow livery, doesn't he, on his bike? But no, I think he already gone through. And in fact, no, hang on. No, it is. I think it is Dan Burnham, you know. Dan Burnham has not come through at the end of the first sector. So the man that made that really aggressive move at Old Hall a lap earlier has gone down this time through the first corner, it seems, and is out of the race. So that is a big turn up for the books then. Dan Burnham will be a non-finisher here, and it means that Williams and Cook are both going to pick up an extra place. So big drama then in this third race of the weekend for the Metz Newcomer 600s. The leaders go through with this time Joe Higham setting the fastest lap of the race, and then I expect to see two white bikes come through in 3rd and 4th. Well, yes, here they come. So no sign of Dan Burnham. He's definitely out. And it is going to be the 52 of Lewis Cook, who's got ahead of Ben Williams as well. So not only is Burnham gone, but those two have swapped positions as well. So the two remaining bikes fighting over 3rd place. Reverse their order. Jackson now up into 5th, of course. Crossley gains a place there too. He's got himself ahead of Daniel Johnson now, as Dan Burnham plummets down the timing screen. So, just to reiterate, Dan Burnham is absolutely okay after that fall at Old Hall. I think that's actually the first bike that we've seen go down there, which is, normally it's quite a popular place to have an accident. Very easy to tuck the front going through Old Hall because the road really drops away from you. It's a late apex Old Hall, and there's a big sort of dip right in the apex of the corner. And if you're pushing the front a bit too hard, easy to lose the front and go sliding down the road, which looks like it's what Dan Burnham did there. He was carrying a lot of speed in there the lap before when he made the overtake, and he probably thought he could do it again when he was on the normal racing line, but just carried a bit too much speed in. So, on to the 6th lap now, and Higham and Turner trading sector times here. Higham about 2/10 quicker than Turner in the first sector, but then Turner gets most of that back in sector 2, and it's a purple second sector, coupled with a personal best first sector for Turner. So this could become a new fastest lap here. Through they go. It's still the same order. Higham ahead of Wilfred Watton Turner. Is it a new fastest lap? Yes, it is. A 1:46.293. That is over 2 seconds quicker than they went in the slightly damp race earlier on. Race 1, though, the fastest lap set by Turner was a 1:49.4. So, yeah, they're going even quicker than that. So this is the fastest pace we've had all day from the Newcomer 600s, at least. Through goes Williams, and now it's Cook that's gone missing. So Lewis Cook now, after a really good showing, has not come through at the end of lap number 6. So up into 3rd place then goes Ben Williams. And Lewis Cook adds a green flag at the Deer Leap, which means there must be a yellow flag at Lodge. So I think he's gone down at Lodge Corner. Again, another easy place to go off, either on entry or exit. You can lose the front on the way in, you can lose the rear coming out, the high side off the road. Let's hope he's not done that, because that can be quite painful. It's green flag out on the exit of Lodge Corner. Looks as though that is where we've lost the number 52 of Lewis Cook, who was on for a really strong result there. Lewis, having scored his first points of the season earlier on today in race number 2 with an 8th place finish. Didn't score in the first race and didn't race at Donington, so part season campaign obviously for him, but he would have liked to have picked up whatever result he could here, really. Anyway, no finish in the final race for him. A couple of the front runners, well, 2 riders from that very group have now gone down, which means that Ben Williams just needs to stay on the road now. He's got an easy 3rd place. He's 21 seconds behind the leaders, but he's 15 seconds ahead of Tom Jackson in 4th, who was 4 seconds slower than him on the previous lap. Although possibly because he was reacting to the yellow flags, I suppose. So the race leader then, or leaders, Higham and Turner, have just gone through. 0.8 of a second between them now, with a new fastest lap set by Higham that time, a 1:46.234. So they're just sort of matching each other at the moment. No real big swing in lap time, although that was 0.4 quicker actually for Higham that time. There goes Williams in 3rd. Tom Jackson should be next in 4th position. Now, he was under a bit of pressure from Daniel Johnson on the previous lap. I think Jackson did back off a bit more for the yellow flags maybe than some others, but that's just brought a big group of bikes onto his tail. And, he's still got that group of bikes on his tail now, but they haven't actually changed positions. Jackson still in 4th place, Daniel Johnson 5th, Crosley 6th, Woodward 7th, Milburn 8th, and arguably Michael Holden in 9th position as well. You could add into that group, only a second behind them as they went on to what is now the penultimate lap of the race, lap number 8 of 9. So another dramatic way to end the day for the Newcomer 600s. Is it going to be Higham, though, or is it going to be Turner that take the victory? Well, Higham was a full second quicker than... was a full 4/10 quicker than Turner in the first sector. Turner gets a 10th of that back in sector 2. And they come across the line now. The gap was 0.865. It's now 0.830 because it's a purple final sector for Wilfred Watton Turner. Really pushing each other to the extreme. Oh, well, Higham did not get off Old Hall Corner well then. And Wilfred Watton-Turner has really closed in. What was an 0.8 of a second gap at the line went down to about 0.4. I think it was pretty much halved as they went through Old Hall that time. So we are going to have a bit of a battle here, potentially, on this final lap of the race. First sector times go in. Yeah, half a second quicker was Turner just in the first sector. And it wasn't a particularly quick sector for him. It was just a slow one for Joe Higham. So let's see what happens then. And we're looking towards Hilltop to see if I can pick them out as they drop down into the Hislop chicane. Might just be possible to spot them. I think that's them going down there now, in which case, no, there was still no change, and Higham was still several bike lengths ahead, but Watton-Turner starting to ask some questions of him now as we move into the final half a lap of racing. Waiting for those second sectors to come through then. Can Wilfred Watton-Turner mount one last late challenge for the race victory? Well, no, he can't, because Higham puts in a purple middle sector 0.3 quicker, so I think that Joe Higham has probably done enough here to hang on to the victory, to take what will be his 4th win of the year and break the tie break now between them. They had 3 wins apiece coming into this one, and Joe Higham, after a very successful Oulton Park, looks as though he's going to take 3 victories out of 3. Watton-Turner's closed right back in through Lodge Corner, but he's not quite going to be close enough. Joe Higham comes across the line, takes the checkered flag, and wins the 3rd race of the weekend, round number 7 of the Metzler Newcomer 600 Championship. 2nd place goes to Wilfred Watton-Turner, and hopefully Benjamin Williams will come home in 3rd, some 20 or so seconds back.